What up, snitches? I'm the Animaniac, and today I'm coming back to New Zealand for this next show. More specifically, a show that takes from Māori culture. Taiohi Gods. Created by... I'm just gonna put the name up here. It was released on TVNZ On Demand, now TVNZ Plus, in November 2021. It only has 8 episodes. So 6 Māori gods are banished to modern-day Earth by their brother Whero, taking on the forms of teenagers. However, they've adjusted to life on Earth, much to his frustration. So now he looks for opportunities to mess with them. If you'd like to see these videos early, subscribe to me on Rumble. Link is in the description and pinned comment below. I'm not going to mention another sub goal, nor will I tell you to sub to this channel as I'm now over 500 and I've yet to figure that milestone out. But as I'm working on the videos, I post my thoughts on the episodes to shows I'm looking at on my community page. Te Arahi, a former host for Māori television and commentator for Sky Sport, got the idea to make the show from his family as he wants to show them figures of Māori myth as superheroes, like the ones in Marvel. He says those figures aren't shown often in media. That's all I could find about the making. And I'll give you guys a basic rundown of who these people are in myth along with how they're presented later. Taiohi Gods looks decent. The backgrounds take inspiration from comics. The creator did say he wanted to present these figures of Māori myth as superheroes. That's probably the only interesting about them. The show doesn't depict any exotic locales. The characters are simple enough, but this aspect draws attention to how choppy the animation is, like Tales of Nai. And like Tales of Nai, this show was animated by Makpari. This was one of their animate someone else's project gigs when they couldn't secure funds of their own. They can still get money and take a break creatively this way. Taiohi Gods' characters aren't detailed enough to give the animation much of a pass, and that's not good for a show with action sequences. It's not just the animation that's lacking, it's also the characters. Tane is the god of the forest and birds. The former quality is presented in this series with him tending to his garden. He's not shown interacting with birds. He also sees himself as a leader of the group, even leading them through routines they find mundane and ensuring they know how to do things like chores they already know how to do. Or just assert control when trying to help, like when he led Tu through meditation to help with his anger problems. Backing up to him wanting everyone to stick to a routine, episode 2 has everyone sick of doing the same traditional training. Their suggestions to do other kinds of training are shot down. This opens up an argument between Tane and Tu. The group's suggestions for different workout routines is something to be considered. As there will be different opponents for them, supposedly, a different approach will need to be taken, like changing your training regimen for a different sport. This is pushed aside when the other boys become transfixed on video games and the spell being broken when Hine Ahuoni pulled the plug on the TV. In the episode before that, Tane's assertion for control gets on everyone's nerves. A similar thing happens where he never sees his own error that caused him to be ousted, once again focused on the effect of too loose leadership has with the house becoming a mess as no one is made to do chores. Tangaroa is the god of the sea and fish. That part is presented by him wanting to surf at the beach. He's also the troublemaker of the group, which in one episode he suddenly cares about the state of the beach comes across as an out-of-character moment for him. I watched the show first before I looked up these mythical figures. Hine Ahuoni was created by Tane as the first woman in Māori myth. And here she's a beauty queen obsessed with taking selfies. Think a less obnoxious personification of the song Selfie by the Chainsmokers, the music video, as it has a woman rambling. Tawhiri Mātia is the god in charge of controlling the weather. Here he's the inventor of the group. His power over the weather had been touched on in the episode where Tawhiri feels like the others are taking him for granted when giving him their electronics that they want fixed. They only took notice of this as he created a massive twister in the house. Tu Matarenga is the Māori god of war, hunting, fishing, and cooking. Here he's the muscle of the group, often seen wanting to lift weights. Him, hunting, fishing, and cooking are nowhere to be seen. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it up on screen. Actually, she doesn't exist in Māori myth. and no online documentation makes mention of her. So she's an original character for the show. She's the tomboy of the group who enjoys Valkyrie, alien weapons, and heavy metal. That's pointed out in the first episode of the show that introduces them, which I don't think is a good sign. It telegraphs a lack of ability on the writer's part of showing who these characters are throughout the show, and their lack of confidence in the viewer's ability to understand who these characters are without resorting to listing off their likes and dislikes. She also takes on the talking to birds ability that Tane of Myth had. And the last character to speak on in this show is their brother Fido, the Maori god of mischief. This is something that comes across throughout the show, which contradicts what he did to our heroes in the intro of every episode. A moment that made me wonder, why is he the villain in this show? Think about it. He's the one who banished them to Earth for constantly quarreling with each other. That doesn't make him evil. What he did was a reasonable punishment, and it didn't work out like how he wanted, as our heroes take to modern day New Zealand very well, much to Fido's frustration. I don't think he could have known this would have happened, so I guess him messing with them after this makes him a petty villain. The show tries very hard to make him that to hopefully overshadow the intro. Thinking back on it, this concept either needed a larger scale because it's fantasy action based on myth, or make the characters more interesting. The majority of them fill in stock team stereotypes and nothing else. Those with any added detail didn't work in moments where they were supposed to look good, and I can't imagine what kind of money they had to work with, because with the amount of locations they had, this had to be limiting. I guess I'll address what humor this show has. The majority of it was generic characters doing something that goes against their archetype bits, which I found very forgettable, and incredibly dumb comebacks.
This place is putted. Your face is putted.
That moment was Paro, and outside of an okay moment of slapstick, nothing else comes to my mind about this show's jokes. Taiohi Gods, despite its color, two meanings apply here, is dull. The characters are stock takes on team archetypes. What story there is have points that are confusing to do, the humor is boring and dumb, and the animation is choppy and not interesting to get away from everything else. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment your own thoughts on the show if you've seen it. If you guys want to stay updated on future videos, be sure to follow me on Getter, Twitter, and DeviantArt. The links are in the description, and if you want to be the first to know when a new video will be up, ring that bell after you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.